Aloha everybody and welcome to part 6 of Sonic Advance 3, and Amy is watching Sonic sleep. That creepy bitch. Anywho folks, we still got 2 zones left and 3 Chaos Emeralds to get, and we're going to be getting the Twinkle Snow Chaos Emerald right away. So as soon as you enter the gate that leads to Twinkle Snow, use either Tails or Amy to fly you up there, or, you know, maybe you have to be Tails and fly up there, but either way, get yourself up there, and you will find another special stage. Normally, in contrast to the other Sonic Advance LPs, we'd be done by now, because Sonic Advance 1 was a 4-parter, Sonic Advance 2 was a 5-parter, and here we are in part 6 of Sonic Advance 3, and the game is still going. We're still not quite done with it yet. Indeed, Sonic Advance 3 is a bigger game than Sonic Advance 1 and 2. There are 3 acts per zone, and these acts can drag out quite a bit, especially with the hub world and all that jazz. And you know, I never have a problem with length. Length, in my opinion, is always a good thing. I'm not gay. But length is always a good thing because, you know, it adds replayability. When I buy a game that's like $60, I hope I'm going to be playing it for months to come, you know? Like a game like Mass Effect, I could replay over and over and over again, and I could play that for months. And the replayability thing, that's awesome. And then you get another game that you can beat in like 2 hours, and you'll never touch it again, and you feel really ripped off and stuff, you know? Sonic Heroes, a lot of people think the biggest problem with Sonic Heroes is that, you know, there's 4 playthroughs of the game. You beat it with Team Sonic, you beat it with Team Dark, you beat it with Team Rose, you beat it with Team Chaotix. And honestly, I don't have a problem with that. I don't. You know, a lot of people find that annoying, but I just think it adds replayability. I think that adds a lot of length to the game, and I know you're doing the same thing over and over again, but honestly, I liked the gameplay of Sonic Heroes, so it didn't bother me. The only time length really becomes a big issue is when the game is a major, disappointingly bad piece of crap, you know? Sonic 06 is such a long game. Like, that game goes on way too fucking long, and because it's such a terrible game, you wish it to end quicker than it should. You know, you want it to end as much as you want it to end. Whereas, you know, Sonic Advance 3, you know, it's long. I kind of wish it was shorter, but hey, it's longer. I can't really fault the game designers for giving you a giant experience that you'll be playing for a while, you know? I just, you know, sometimes the zones can be boring and you want to move on to the next one. I understand that. One of my favorite things about Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was the decision to turn it from 3 acts to 2. Because then you were zipping from zone to zone, and it really felt like you were a fast hedgehog, as the game advertised, you know? You were zipping from location to location so fast, it really added to the attitude of Sonic, in my opinion. But, you know. 3 acts in Sonic Advance 3, not sure how you feel about it. Anywho, folks, we're coming up to Big Bad Dr. Eggman in the Twinkle Snow level. Sonic, when partnered up with Amy, again, just like Amy's Sonic Advance 1's gameplay, luckily, we don't have to push the attack button at all, because this whole boss fight centers around making sure you stand on these platforms and then jumping just as the platforms are above Eggman so that the platforms will drop onto his head. After the thing takes off, this is all Bottomless Pit territory. If you fall and you miss those platforms, you will die. If you get hit by Eggman's ball spike chain, you will fall to the pit and you will die. And you will die. And you will die. And you will fucking die, because this is actually one of the harder boss fights in the game. If you miss your jumps, if you get hit by that ball spike in the wrong way, you will fall to the pit and you will die. It's actually one of the harder boss fights in the game, and the one good tip is, although the platforms are shaking when you're standing on top of them, they will not fall until right when you jump off them. So it's a little bit of a timing game where you're waiting for Eggman to show up underneath you so that you can jump off at that moment. And another good tip would probably be playing as Tails, since Tails can actually fly, and maybe that would help a little bit. I chose to be Sonic because I'm an idiot. But otherwise, I actually like this boss fight quite a bit. Yeah, I die on this guy quite a bit, but it's a good kind of challenging, you know? It's a fun kind of challenging. It's the kind of challenging that once you get used to it, it's actually really fun to pull off. But until you do, you're going to be dying left and right, left and right. You really have to time when you jump from platforms, not only to hit Eggman, but also to dodge the ball spike chain that he sends out. If that thing hits you in the wrong spot, you're dead, and it can be a little bit tricky, just a little bit.
You're going to pay for that!
Well, I did pay 5 lives. You wouldn't know that because I had like maybe 20 when I kept losing all of them. Once again, the lives counter goes way beyond the 9. I think I'm like at level... I think I have like 20 lives or 30 or something. I got so many lives during the course of the game. I did some of the minigame stuff off screen just to make sure that I would have 9 lives always, but you know. Whatevers. Oh boy, here we come to the second last zone in the game, one of my least favorites. It's Cybertrack. Right now I'll play as Amy and Knuckles. This is the last combination I have to do until we're done all the combinations. So Amy Rose, when teamed up with Knuckles, she has a gigantic fuck you hammer. Basically, she replaces her normal hammer with a big one that can destroy walls, because she's now considered a power type when teamed up with Knuckles. She has the super peel-out move that Sonic had in Sonic CD, because she doesn't curl into a ball when she does the spin dash motion. Now she just runs straight ahead. So it's the peel-out from Sonic CD, essentially. And, yeah, that's about it. Cybertrack is a very cyber level, just like Technobase from Sonic Advance 2, except, and it even changes all the rails and stuff to be light rails and, you know, weird switches and stuff, just like Technobase did in Sonic Advance 2. The difference is this one has a whole bunch of contraptions that bounce you across the room, and you have to, like, actually choose which direction you go. Like, you'll go into this little machine that'll point left and it'll point right, and you choose where it goes. When it points left, you can push the jump button, and your character will go left. If it goes right, you can go right, and, you know, it'll take you right. Sometimes it can be a little bit of a maze, especially a little bit backtracky, because the way sometimes those switches send you places, if you go right, it'll actually send you backwards through the level instead of forwards, and it can trick you like that and be kind of annoying, but, you know, I digress. Now, this level has lots and lots and lots of bottomless pits. If you're not watching what you're doing, you're going to fall to your death quite a bit. The level also has this whole bunch of platforms on rails kind of gimmicks. Not to the extent of Gutsman from Mega Man, where like the platforms will like fold in half, and then if you don't jump at the right time, you'll break through or whatever. Oh, by the way, that Chow, you need to be a power type for this level because you cannot break those walls without a powerful attack. You gotta be Knuckles, you gotta be partnered with Knuckles. Either way, you need the strength to break those walls, and Sonic's regular somersault won't do it. Tails' regular tail whip won't do it, so you better bring a powerful character like Knuckles along with you for the ride. Otherwise, you'll miss out on that Chow. But this level can be a little bit annoying because of its bottomless pits. It's also got that whole death egg thing where when you cross a certain part of the level, it actually reverses gravity. And again, we all played Death Egg, we all played the final level in Sonic... Well, I don't think we've all played Sonic Advance 2, but... And again, I got a lot of people watching this series who've never touched a Sonic game before, but, you know, let's just assume you've all played Death Egg, okay? Basically, in Death Egg, you always cross a certain part of the room, and then your character gets upside down, and although you still go left and right by pushing left and right, when you jump, you go down, and you gotta keep that in mind, otherwise you'll be falling upwards. I don't think there are any upwards pits in Cybertrack. I don't remember that anyway, but, you know, there might be spikes up there. Deadly, deadly spikes in this cyberspace thingamajigger. Well, at least you can't fall to your death in that section. Again, gravity reverses you, so it's like, I thought I touched the very bottom of the screen. I was very surprised that I didn't die. I was like, oh my god, I touched the bottom, ah! But then nothing happened to me, and I was like, oh, thank god. Knuckles and Tails is one of my favorite teams in the game, if not my favorite team in the game. Knuckles has this little cool double jump when he's partnered with Tails. Like, you do the glide button, and then he raises a little bit, then dives forward. And that just makes Knuckles a little bit better of a character to control. And Tails is, in my opinion, the best tag assist in the whole entire game. I prefer having his whole launching thing and his being able to carry your character in the sky over Amy's launching thing. Because again, the problem with having Amy as a partner is that you have to be Sonic Advance 1 style gameplay, Amy-wise, you know, where you have to have a hammer, you have to push the attack button before you jump into guys. And Tails doesn't change your character that drastically, so, you know. Tails is the best tag character to be with. He's always been the sidekick, and he should always be the sidekick. And all the Tails fans, they riot. Don't fall here, by the way. Bottomless Pit. You'll die. Just like Toy Kingdom, you gotta watch where you are on top of the bars. You gotta watch you're not jumping off those rails, because if you jump off the rails and you pass through them, you might just fall to a bottomless pit. You never know. You never know. It's nice to see those sticky wheels are back from Scrap Brain Zone. And once again, I got the gold, bitches. I swear to you, I know I'm making these levels look easy. I know I am. But I promise you, playing the game and watching me play are two different, very, very different things. You know, you're not seeing a lot of takes where I accidentally screw this shit up. I believe Act 1 of Cybertrack, just getting all the Chow in that level has caused me to fall in the pits I shouldn't have fallen into quite a bit, and I had to restart the level over and over and over again. And this level especially, Cybertrack Act 3 is by far the worst level, one of the worst levels in the game. And only because of the platforming that they have you do near the end of the level that cost you quite a bit of lives when you're not used to it for the first time. And when you're used to it, it's alright, I guess, but I don't know, it's too much memorization and it's too much annoying busy work, you know? What annoys me the most about those platforms that are coming up, again, I'll point them out when we get to them, but what annoys me the most is that your partner character can once again screw you over by touching the platforms before you do. And if they touch the platforms before you do, they start moving on their own, and that means you gotta, like, hurry up, or you've already been screwed up. If the platform's moving ahead of schedule before you want it to, then you've already fucking lost, and you might as well jump into the pit, or, you know, go backwards until the platform resurfaces. But I'm pretty sure it's kind of hard to get those platforms to resurface. I might be wrong about that. I seem to remember it being that way, because it had shit level design. I just don't think this level is very fun to play, you know. Again, there's another thing where, like, if you fall off the platform, you're going to be backtracking quite a bit, because there's so much distance and bottomless pits, and, you know. But here's what I'm talking about. You have to push these platforms in order, because sometimes they come up to a wall that will knock you off if you're on the wrong platform, and you have to climb up certain spots so that you can get to a platform that comes up later, and it can just be a little bit tricky. There's a bottomless pit beneath me. I have to look down for this one switch, because that gray platform I chose not to jump on will disappear if you stand on it too long, and that shit gets really old really fast, you know? Like, when I have to stop and look down just to see what I'm doing, I don't think that's fun. It's very anti-Sonic gameplay, in my opinion. I'm not afraid of a little challenge, but I am afraid of bad game design. And I don't consider it fun for Sonic to be standing on platforms, timing when to jump off and when to jump on other platforms, cursing at my Game Boy because Tails jumped on the platform before I did. Fucking Tails. So many, and look, Tails hit the platform before I did. So many times. If you're not quick on your feet, if you're not moving fast enough with this section, if you miss a platform, then you might as well just kiss your progress goodbye. This is all bottomless pit beneath me. All of it. You fuck up once, if you jump the gun, if you're too slow. If I didn't jump on that platform as fast as I did, I wouldn't be able to jump to the right platform because it'd be too high. And then I'd be falling to my death because I have nowhere to go, you know? It's too specific, it's too tricky, this level. But anywho, folks, here comes Gemerl. Once again, Gemerl gets new moves the more you fight him. I really like this missile move, where basically all the missiles aim for where you are, and then you gotta get out of the way, either by spin dashing or whatever. But, you know. I always love these Gemerl boss fights. It's like fighting Knuckles in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but, you know. He gets better and better the more you fight him, and more fun as he goes on, and it's really fun boss recognition and boss pattern recognition and stuff, you know. But yeah, that is Cybertrack level. I made that level look so much easier than it really is. That zone is ridiculously hard. Oh, cool! We got the most broken character in the game last! So we'll be seeing more of Cream the Rabbit in Part 7. See you then.